We have a saying at the Sardine Factory: if we made you feel at home, we made $1 million mistake. Our job is to make you feel better at home, or why the hell would you go out?
Join us as today's host, Neil Sudaisar, interviews the legendary Ted Balestreri, a visionary and pioneer in hospitality whose incredible journey has inspired countless others in the industry.
You ready, buddy?
Let's go get him, Neil.
Go do this. Hey, welcome to the Prosper Brief. My name is Neil Sudaisar, and I have the privilege to be here with Ted Balestreri. Today, we get to know him a little bit. We launched the first and inaugural Balestreri Award. It's going to become an annual award for the Prosper Forum. What a gracious gift and well earned to be in your name and in your honor. But let's spend some time getting to know you a little bit. Make sure the crowd knows exactly why and who you are, because it is well deserved. So let me just kind of back up and start with the beginning.
Well,
Tell us your story.
I guess it all started. I was born June 30th, 1940.
Let's remember that date for birthday cards. June 30th.
In a quaint little town in New York called Brooklyn. You might have heard of it, Neil. And I worked, you asked, one of the first jobs I ever had was delivering the World Telegram and Sun. It was a newspaper. And that's what I kind of gave me the encouragement to compete, because I used to get so many subscriptions. They split my route and then they make it bigger. I made a lot of money in proportionate to the other kids working in, because I like a super sales guy at the time. And I used to bring my mother home a turkey for Thanksgiving. I win all these awards. And so I learned to be self-sufficient, to be able to bring things to myself, self-satisfying, like turkeys for my mom.
And always giving back.
I went to Holy Innocents. It was a Catholic school there. But then my life changed. My dad died when he was only 48. He was a chain smoker at 48. And they read the will, and he left me the whole world to make a living in. So I wasn't encumbered. But he left me in the greatest country in the world, America.
And a wristwatch.
And a wristwatch. And then we had a car, and we drove, my mother, my sister, we drove to Carmel, California, where my aunt and uncle was, and my grandmother, and I wound up staying there and going to Carmel High School. And it was kind of a culture shock to be at Carmel High School.
Oh, from Brooklyn,
it's beautiful. Yeah, I showed up the first day with a mohair, cufflinks, and a shirt, white tie. A white shirt and a tie and a blue suit, and everybody was in Levi's and T-shirts and stuff. And I said, what the heck? But then I adapted real quick. I really loved Carmel after a while. But it was a culture shock, because I came in the summer, first of all, and I didn't know anybody. It's kind of, it's not like a big city you go to. But after so many years, when I graduated high school with a kid by the name of Ted Smith, and I was Ted Balestreri. Because Ted Arena and Ted Arep, we became the two most, got the popular kids in the senior year. And then I went on to Monterey Peninsula College, and I got drafted in the Army in 1961.
Yeah.
And
thank you for your service.
And I went to Fort Ord, and then Fort Ord had about 30,000 soldiers out there, so I don't know how many thousand. It took about 22 of us to the Leadership Academy at the Presidio, which I was honored.
Yeah.
And then they sent me back to Fort Ord, and then to Fort Lewis, Washington. I guess my next stop would have been Vietnam, because it was the beginning of Vietnam. It was called Indochina. And what saved my butt was the Cuban crisis. And the Cuban crisis, when that happened, everything stopped. We didn't know we were going to war or not,
Right.
And anyway, my time started to run out. And when I got out of the Army, I went back to Lewis Hotel Management School. Meantime, all these times, I'm working as a busboy or a dishwasher, a waiter, bartender, you name it. I used to tell the guys that when I was 18, I was 23, so I could 10 bar or be a maitre d'. Otherwise, if I said 21, they said, are you sure? Say 23, don't even bother. So, but I need the money to work.
Yeah.
And I worked in the cantaloupe fields, running crews, setting off in the sheds. When everybody would go away for the summer, I would work. But that was okay. I was making money. I had a mom I had to take care of, and a sister. And so anyway, I came back. Thank God I had a good aunt and uncle that helped out and everybody. And then I started, after I graduated hotel management school, I ran a hotel in Visalia called the Marco Polo.
Yeah.
And I had a 110% increase. And the guy who was another restaurateur heard about it, his name Art Bodine. He came and hired me for the Rogue restaurant, was losing money. And we turned that around to be the #1 grossing restaurant at the time.
Wow.
And I kept saying, I'm doing this for everybody else. Meanwhile, I had my partner, Bert, myself went to college together, and he was working in competing restaurants. We both dreamed someday as roommates that we'd have our own restaurant.
Right.
So eventually we had this dentist, Dr. Caselli, had a little faith in us, and he loaned us some money. And we opened up the Sardine Factory October 2nd, 1968. The wrong side of the tracks, in a building that was practically condemned. It was ugly. You had to climb upstairs,
Yep.
the wrong side of town, but it's the only place we could afford. The rent was $200 a month, but I said, we rent it, we want an option to buy it. So they threw some crazy number like $98,000. In those days, you know,
A lot of
that was
money.
a lot of money. So I said, fine, as long as we have an option to buy it. And we opened up the restaurant the first year. Oh, meanwhile, I had guys that I loved, a couple of Armenian guys, George Aruni and Harry Davidian, in Visalia area. I wanted them to be investment. And I loved these guys.
Right.
They looked at the building, they thought it was nuts. So they passed, which after it was a huge success, they said, we'll never pass this again. So anyway, Bert and myself opened a restaurant. Then we decided to open another one the second year called the Butcher Shop in Carmel. And everybody said to the dentist, these guys are going to grow too fast. Better get your money out. So he was a wonderful guy, Dr. Caselli. We bought him out. He made great money. Bought him out. Now it's just the two of us. And then George and Harry, the fellows from Visalia, said, we want to be in the butcher shop. So we put him in. We got our money back in 1 year.
Great.
And then my old boss, who I love, Art Bodine, he always wanted to sell me. So he sold me the butcher shop and the Rogue restaurant, which all became big hits. And then we had San Simeon restaurant. Now we got 5 dinner houses going.
Yeah.
And you got to remember, I'm 27 when I started all this stuff with my partner. He was 28. And so we said, we got to diversify. So then we started buying shopping centers, Pacific Grove. Then we started buying, we got Windy franchises in Northern California for a while. Then we went into farming, which has turned out okay.
Wow.
And then we got into the hotel business. And of course, we had in the real estate business. We started buying up Cannery Row. This is a long story short.
You're doing very good.
And so we own about 82% of Cannery Row now. And, you know, real estate became huge for us.
Absolutely.
So we have all these different companies, and we always stayed private. And I have 2 boys. Thank God they're in the industry with me.
Yeah.
It gives me a sense of comfort if something happened to me.
Absolutely.
One is in the real estate side, one's in the hospitality side. But it's always the most important thing, though, is I met the right woman.
Yes. And Velma is very special.
Velma could have had anybody she wanted.
Yeah, she's beautiful.
Yeah, she was one of the Miss California contest. I think she was runner-up or something.
Yeah. And she chose you. Like,
Yeah, I was the
Yeah.
luckiest guy in the world, you know. And she's got a heart of gold, but I had to put a lot of hours in the beginning. When you had the Sardine Factory, you work 9 day.
Yep.
But when you're making money and you're happy, time doesn't mean anything. You
Right.
can see the success. That little bar, 72 seats. Then we opened another dining room, another dining. Now we're like 250 seats or more. And everything became huge success for us. And whoever would have known we went from some dinky apartment to a beautiful place in Pebble Beach. And life has been really good. And then, of course, you belong to things like the National Restaurant Association,
Right.
Prosper, and you give a chance to give back. You know, my life has been blessed. A lot of mentors took me under their wing, and they saw something in me, and they gave me a chance when nobody else. The Bank of America, I went to a bunch of banks to get money, and they all said no, no, no. But there's a system manager had a little faith in me. He loaned us some money, Bert and myself, and they almost got fired because of the loan. And we became their biggest account. at the bank he was at. So what can I say, Neil? People like you and David Job and Michelle and of course, they're all wonderful leaders in our industry, and it's an honor to serve in the industry.
Oh gosh, it is.
But the success is, I'm 84. I was going to retire probably about 45, and then I said 55, then 65. Keep lying to myself. I've never been a spectator, only a player.
Yep.
We're building another hotel right now. We're the landlords of this, and so we'll have 8 or maybe hotels when that's finished. 3 that we're landlords and 5 that we operate. Sardine Factory, after 55 years, is still going strong. And I got 2 boys and 4 grandkids now,
Yes,
and a wonderful wife.
congratulations.
What more can a guy have? I figure I'm the richest man in the world.
Well, you are one of the most generous men in
Well-
the entire world, and your gift is constant. So, speaking of that, family is important. Your passion for hospitality inside of your properties and your restaurants is second to none. What is it that makes you bring that attitude every single day to every single property, to every single engagement that you have?
I just like people, I guess. We have a saying at the Sardine Factory: if we made you feel at home, we made $1 million mistake. Mm-hmm. Our job is to make you feel better at home, but why the hell would you go out? And we have a sign in the kitchen: love. It's the most important ingredient in everything we do, in the food and the service to the people. You got to love what you do, and it reflects.
Right.
And it starts at the top.
Sure
And you got
does.
to empower your people to feel their ownership. When I meet people that worked for me 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20, I never say they worked for me. I said, we used to work together.
Yeah, yeah,
People say, oh, yeah, you were my... I said, no, we worked together.
that's right.
And it's a team effort.
It is.
And it wasn't for those hundreds and hundreds of employees over the years, I would be sitting here.
It is definitely comes from the top, but you are definitely a bottoms-up guy. You definitely lead with them on your shoulders.
Well, the
thank you
NRA is
for
doing
that.
some great work. Prosper here, Prosper is really trying to change corporate thinking for the better. And, this should have been done years ago.
But we don't look back. We look
We don't
forward.
look forward. You know what the
It's
win?
what we
word,
can do right now.
The word "win" means what's important now.
That's right.
And
That's right. Thank you for that wisdom.
nobody coasts uphill, just downhill. And my dad always said, a man who never had a chance never took a chance. So, I feel sorry for some of these really super bright kids, because they do things so well, they're afraid to take a chance so they might fail. To be sitting where we're sitting now, Neil, young people have to go outside their comfort zone once in a
Right.
while.
Right.
And very few of those super bright kids will be sitting here because be so afraid to fail. And failure is just education.
Right.
You just got to keep trying.
School
And
of
after a
hard
while,
knocks.
you overcome it.
As we were talking earlier, school of hard knocks, right?
School of hard knocks.
Yeah. Let me kind of shift a little bit to, you just recently won a Lifetime Achievement Award from Penn State's
Right.
School of Hospitality. Congratulations, and again, well deserved. We just have an annual opportunity to award someone the Balestreri Award every year. James Fripp is our first annual winner.
Which is wonderful.
How does it feel that people are modeling their business and their thought process around your accomplishments and theories?
Well, I'm very flattered, first of all. Everybody has to do it in their own way. You can't copy anybody to a T. But if I could give them the inspiration and get them over the fears of what they might be looking at, if I could inspire them and try to give them as many tools as possible, then I did my job.
That's right.
You can't change anybody 100%, but you give them the confidence to do their own change and their own leadership. Leadership is by example, no doubt about it. And sometimes you're better off being respected than liked.
Can't like everyone, right?
Yeah, but as long as they respect you and they understand where you're coming from and you're fair and honest, the chances of me, when I bought the hotels, I I paid a consultant $10,000, and he wrote a 2-page thing about why not to buy them. I had my lawyer, which I was with for 20 years, the most brilliant guy you ever want to be with. He said, this is a bad time to buy it. And my president of one of my companies, which is he's a wonderful guy with me for years. He said, Ted, we shouldn't do it. So I called everybody in the room. My cousin said, this is what everybody said. I had some investor guys. I said, but I'm going to go ahead and do it. Because I really think this is the right. Nobody objected. We did it. It was 6 days before 9/11.
Oh, my.
Oh, so we got these hotels and all these cancellations. Everybody think the golden boy might have made a mistake, Well, that year we still paid 6% dividend, cash on cash, and it's been a huge success.
Continually growing.
So once in a while, you got to go on your gut feel. Get all the consultants, get everything,
right?
All the pitfalls you can be. Then you have to make the decision, and the only one who can make that is you.
Don't live with fear.
Don't live with fear.
I love that. What do you think this award and this program, Prosper, is? What's the impact that you think it's going to have on the industry, on hospitality, on the opportunity?
I hope the industry recognizes the importance of this and supports it. Because we shouldn't have any barriers in anything, period. Anything. And try to encourage. And when they see it's working, then they, more of the minorities or whatever they are, will feel much more comfortable. Wherever they are, it doesn't matter what minority you are. When you feel there's opportunity and the industry opens up to you, you resonate to it. And that's a very, very important thing to do.
Yeah.
There should be no barriers in our industry.
That's right. And there should be a hand willing to help you up.
Yeah. Well, everybody needs a hand once in a while.
That's right. And I think that's what this is about, right? I love that it is about a better table.
It is about a better table. It's about a better industry. It's about a better world.
Better people. Even us.
Even us. There's always room for improvement.
That's right. What, you went to leadership. You grew up having to be your own leader, clearly competitive as well. But you also were in a military leadership school. And then what are those kind of qualities that you've taken across all of your careers? And what is the most important ones that mean something to you, that you hold on tightly to, that you embody and
Well,
really
the Army was
to?
a true melting pot. And I loved it. And you really judge people on their abilities and talents. And I loved not when you were in it at the time necessarily, but you look back, it was one of the greatest times of my life. It was tough. There was a lot of prejudice then.
Yeah.
In the Army. And, you had to step to the plate and protect who was being harassed. And that made me feel good inside. In our restaurant, we had the first woman sommelier.
Wow.
Because I gave everybody tests. The women passed. We had one of the first African-American managers back in the 60s. Nobody would do that in those days. It was great. Chris Nance, he became a news announcer. And there's no barriers in our company.
No.
Way back when.
We talked about merit being important and contribution and character being important.
The only two things you can give people in this world, especially your kids: courage to know what to do, character to know what to do, and courage to do it.
Love it.
That's the two most important things in the whole world.
You have this ability to make everyone that you engage feel like family. You hold your family to the highest regard. You're an amazing father, amazing grandfather, amazing husband. What is it that you give credit to on how you involve everyone in your family and include everyone like family?
Well, they are my family, and when you love them and you enjoy working with them and you want to be around them all the time, it's easy.
Yeah.
We don't have that kind of friction, thank God my two boys get together in two different departments. One's in the hospitality, one's in the real estate development. They get along pretty well. I'm not saying we don't really have a conflict ever, but we've been extremely fortunate that we're all together on holidays.
Yeah. And love is the magic ingredient.
Love's the magic ingredient in everything.
Love that. Thank you. I'm going to just kind of move to the What are your hopes for the future of the hospitality industry, for the people within it?
I hope the hospitality industry is recognized for the industry of opportunity, because sometimes we get a bad rap in the image of people.
Yep.
I think there's probably more millionaires made in the hospitality industry than gas, banking, and another and the people don't realize it. They might not be as big as some of them, but a guy can have 1 or 2 McDonald's franchises and become a millionaire.
Right.
A couple of Wendy's. We have more minorities in this industry that go into management and then into ownership than probably any other industry in America, maybe the world. But they have to understand that story. It's a pathway to independence, financial security, and success. It's a great industry. And where else could you every night go out and people thank you? Oh, what a wonderful meal. Thank you. Now I sit behind my desk with all these guys reporting to me. Nobody comes in there, boss, you did a great job today. Let me take you to lunch.
You've made this industry stronger. You've made sure that we think about hospitality every day. You made sure we think about people as family and help each other out.
So many tools. You got, for human resources, you got this Prosperous Conference. For leadership and education, so you got the National Restaurants. These are great. You got your associations. You got the Hotel Association. You got all these associations with resources for our industry, for a young man to draw on. And you got leaders like yourself, Neil. I mean, my God, you are respected in the industry. You speak up about being like, you're Mr. Hospitality.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I learned it from the best.
Oh, heck.
Yeah. Well, let me make sure to finish this off with just an amazing thank you. You are truly one of the best in the industries. You lead by example. You take action. You force change. You lead change. You continually grow and improve yourself. There is a reason why there's an award out there with your name on it, and it will live forever because of what you've done for everyone else. And so thank you for your gifts. Thank you for your time.
Neil,
please.
I want to thank my partners. Most of them are passed away. George Rooney, Harry Deridian, and Bert Catino, my 2 boys, and all the people that work for our company over the years, and partners that have been good. We never lose anybody. They've all been wonderful. I love those people. A lot of deals were made on handshakes.
Right.
And I put a statue to them on Cannery Row. I don't know if you've seen that. Yeah, because that's how much I love those guys. And I've been so fortunate to have good family, good partners, great industry. I'm the lucky guy.
I love that you say that. It shows your humility. Just remember that they feel the same. We feel the same about you. We feel the same about you.
Neil, I hope this industry, when it probably grows, we're going to need every human being possible. We're short of people.
Yeah.
We're getting short of people. And what I don't like too much about it is that artificial intelligence is going to try to take the place of human interaction. And one of the most important things in life in longevity clinics is, number 1, stress is the biggest killer. Number 2 is loneliness, interaction. The hospitality industry is very important for survival and health, where people can interact and talk and not feel lonely and isolated. People work on computers all day. They go home. They have home delivery. They don't meet with anybody. They talk on the side.
That's right.
They need human action.
Community.
Number 3, you need sleep. Number 4, you need to be active. And number 5, you got to watch what you eat.
Yeah. I kind of like eating all the food you have at your restaurant.
You can see that. That's my downfall, too. I don't make it to 5 very good either.
We enjoy what we do in all the ways possible.
Hey, I've eaten my way to the top.
That's right. I eat my way to the top, too. Here's to a better table. Here's to you. Ted, what a pleasure.
Thank you.
I'm glad you're my friend.
Thank you. And say thank you to David Job and Luke and Hattie and James for what they've done. And
boy, they've
Neil,
done a good
thank
job.
you very much. It's a wonderful organization and great leadership.
You're part of it.
Thank you.
Thank you. The most important ingredient. Love. Thank you.
Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed today's episode with the legendary Ted Balestreri. If you're inspired by these stories of leadership and success, be sure to like, subscribe, and join us on this journey as we continue to bring you insights from industry pioneers. See you next time here on the Prosper Brief.